Hello my friends, I now invite you to enjoy this classic Dr. Groovy lesson.
Hello all, I am Scott Grove. I'm here to teach you something that I've taught you probably 20 times before. Why would I do such a thing? Because people still have questions and I still have the answers. So I'm going to teach those of you who have asked certain questions about what I'm getting ready to teach you how to do this. And this is basic 3-chord 12-bar blues type of stuff, regular scales. This is the pentatonic scale, the major pentatonic scale, the minor pentatonic scale, and the blues scale. Okay, how are they different? The minor pentatonic scale is one note different than a major pentatonic. I hate words like pentatonic and you've all heard of before, the like a lesbian scales and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, I hate even calling that. So, okay, let's do the major scale. Okay, which is simply okay, same old thing. What is the minor scale? Well, by golly, we just change one note. Okay, and then we have what's called the blues scale. Okay, all that minor scale did was take the third note up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you take the third note up in a minor scale. 1, 2, 3, and you just flatten it 1, and it makes it minor. And so now we got. Okay, so it makes it a minor. So you just flat the third note in your major scale, which you all should know by now. If not, please check out any of my other videos, and I will show them again, of course, in here. But like I've said, I've showed this 20 times at least. Okay, so why keep going over it? Like I said, because there's questions, and people are always yelling at me, why do you keep doing that and doing this? Like, where are your instructional videos? How many times do you stay awake for hours on end per night and try to teach people for free? So shut up, or put something out. Help people out for nothing. You do it. Then you can yell at me. Okay? So, so that minor scale is simply just flatting the note, the 3. 1, 2, 3. You go back 1, and everything else is the same. Okay, is this the point of the lesson? No. I always wait to tell you what the lesson's going to be about. Till later. Why? Just to get under your skin. Okay, and then the blues scale is that minor scale, but they change one other note. They changed the 7. So you got to play the minor scale. Okay. And instead of 7, 8, you go 7, and you flat it 1, meaning go down 1 fret. So now you have a flatted 3rd and a flatted 7th. 2 flatted 3rd, flatted 7th, and that is your blues scale. Okay, now the reason behind all this, I'm making this video even to begin with, are people are very, very, very confused on why and how they can possibly play minor scales, minor notes, minor anything over top of a song that's in a major key. That's it. They just don't get it, and that's fine. That's why I'm here. I'm here to teach you. I'm not here to bash you. I'm here to show you why and tell you why. Okay, the reason why that you can do this is because you can. Okay, the thing that you can also do is oversaturate your brain with too much theory. There is definitely too much theory going on out there, and people will suffer because of it. Is it bad to learn? No, it's great to learn, but it's not great to live it. Okay, you have to feel your music sometimes, and that's where all this stuff came from. This is the blues, kids. That's why it's called a blues scale. You think one single authentic, I'm talking pre-Stevie Ray and pre-anybody that any of you people have ever heard of, or even alive. So you get authentic blues players. Not a one, there was no such thing as tabs back then, so this is, of course there won't be any here because I hate them and don't believe in them either. But none of them had any formal training. Okay, so basically you go to the blues, you have a bunch of old black dudes, and they had $5 guitars that they were more than happy to get, that were thrown in the trash by the rich white kids, or they saved their entire life to buy one, or they stole one, or whatever. Maybe they were a prominent family and they happened to buy their own guitars too. I don't know, I don't care. But think of it this way. This music has been relevant and prevalent, and blues music is the foundation of all kinds of music out today. All your rock and roll, your metal, your country, no matter what it is, blues kind of started all this. Otherwise we'd all still be boom, dum, dum, boom, dum, 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 to bands with nothing but cellos and violins, and that's it, until we had electric guitars, things were pretty bad. Okay, so what am I talking about when I say, okay, you can have songs that are in definitely 100% major keys because the band is sitting there going and actually playing, you're an A. Okay, so let's get this down here where the action really happens, and that's on the guitar. The guitar of choice today is one of my beautiful axes. This is actually a Fender. Yep, a real Fender, not no Squire thing. So this is a Fender Katana, K-A-T-A-N-A. Yes, they made Squire versions of these decades ago that you can buy for nearly nothing on eBay now, but the Fenders, you better shell out really, really, really good money to find one that isn't beat to heck, which is basically the same with any guitar with this body shape. Okay, just wanted you to know what the guitar was. Okay, so the thing is, why can we actually use major chords? I'm going to get rid of the distortion for now. Okay, and I'm going to check that B string is tuning. Why? Because it's a Fender. No, it's got a floating whammy. Which whammies it got on it? It's Fender, of course. Who made it for him? Who knows? And everything else is good. Okay, so you've got an actual bar chord, A bar chord, so 5th fret, everybody knows it. On your G string is the note that determines whether it's major or minor, whether that finger is on that 6th fret or whether it's off of there and you're playing the 5th fret, right? So here's A major, here's A minor. You just pick up the middle finger and flip the bird to everybody. Now normally you would think A minor, and you would actually play something really minor sounding. Okay, yeah, sure, of course you would. Okay, but when the shoe is on the other foot, it's really hard to walk that way. But when you're playing A major, you can and will and should, and everybody has for a good 70, 80, 90, 100 years now, been playing minor third. So that 5th fret, they've been playing that. Yes, of course they have. But people are not understanding, and that's the big question, and that is the big lesson for today. So they're like, how can that be so? You can't be playing major stuff when you're in a minor key, but how can you be playing minor stuff in a major key? It's because, like I said, you can, and because it always has been that way. So the minor scale that turns into the blues scale. Let's get that under our belts for anybody who is not accomplished at all. Okay, so we're going to start in the key of A. So if you already know this, you have the luxury of fast forwarding because we're going through basics right now. So you're looking at right here is the 5th fret on your A, and we're going right on up the whole scale here. So your major scale, which people call major pentatonic for whatever reason, and who cares, but is that simple do re mi thing. Okay, so let's get it real quick. It won't take long. Okay, low E string 5, 7, A string, we're going to 4, 5, 7, okay, D string 4, then, pardon me, this is going to be 6 and 7. Okay, so again, A note on your E string, 5, 7 on your E string, then 4, 5, 7 on your A, and then 4, 6, 7 on your D. Okay, again, then, okay, that's the scale. Now use numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Okay, so what's happening now is no matter where you start from, if I was to start, you know, like on a way up here at D, same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's just a basic shape. Okay, so what I'm talking about when I'm talking about minors and majors, okay, when we continue this whole scale upward, so you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, now if you were to keep continuing this scale up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, what happens? Okay, because I just 8 equals 1. If I've never told you this, when you get to the 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That 8th note is A again. You started on A, you ended on A. So the 7 is actually a 1. Okay, so if we were playing in the key of A, hey, and we were to go to the 4 chord, that means we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. That means D chord. So now we're playing back to the 1 chord. If we go to the 5 chord, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 1. Okay, so basically old tunes are built out of 1, 4, and 5 chords. 1, 4, 5, 4, 1. Okay, so chords are made up of the same thing. Chords are simply made up of 1s, 3s, and 5s. Okay, that's just the way chords are put together. Sometimes that other notes are in their place or added to it, and they become different chords. What we are discussing today are the very elementary, rudimentary things, and these are majors, minors, and what's called a dominant 7th, which is just a long name for stupid things, and I will show you that. Okay, so a major scale, which I just showed you. Okay, that is it. It will never change. If you want to play it somewhere else, play it here. But you started on E. Now you ended on E. Okay, so now your minor scale, you're actually going to flatten the 3rd. And by flatten it means take it 1 note this way, so towards the top of your guitar. Okay, so by doing that, the most popular place to do any kind of augmentation, fancy word for changing things, is not in the lower part of the register. So 1, 2, 3. So you wouldn't want to do a minor with 1, 2, 3, then flatten that. Then it gets, you know, it happens, but it's very rare, especially in guitar. Again, so you would start over again in A. Okay, so you got this whole chord here. You probably know this more than you know your scales. Okay, and this note right here is your 3rd. Let me tell you that right off the bat, your middle finger. How does it get to be that way? It's because you started over again. 1 equals 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so now you start there and do that same scale again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So I just take that one note and I flatten it 1. Okay, so if I'm building up this whole chord, okay, I'm actually now, that is a C sharp, and I'm playing an A, and I got to flatten my C sharp. I got to take it 1 this way to a C. So I just take 1 finger off. Okay, so that's a long way of getting around to how you do this. Okay, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on that. I'm going to spend more time on the lesson, but now all of a sudden you've got, okay, so now you've got this minor note, and it's going to be that C note. Okay, now that C note you have to remember for a while. Okay, a lot of this is going to have to be, I'm going to go ahead and just stick as much of this I can in the key of A, just so you understand that it's the same in all keys, but we're just going to cram it in the key of A, just because it's right here on the screen and it's easier to see, since I don't do split screen unless I have a way of doing so. I got this screwdriver, we can split the screen. Okay. Yes, all my jokes are that bad. Okay, so we've got a minor. Okay, it's not the minor we're worried about, it is the note. Okay, so we're going to be playing in major, the band is. And they're sitting there playing, very apparently, that C sharp. But you're going to be playing a C, being a lead guitar player. This is what everybody yells at me about. It's like, well, you can't play that minor note while you're playing in a major key. More people play the minor note than they do the major note when it comes time for lead guitar playing. Okay? Why? Because they do. It's the way it is. And I will show you this in a little bit. And the other one that people just don't get, okay, if we're playing in a major, now we're going to do this blues scale. And I told you the only difference between it and the minor thing is that we changed the 7. Okay, so what are we going to do? We're going to go up and find out what the heck the 7 is. Count it off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What note is that? That's 1 note away from the A, so it's an A flat. So what you do is flatten it also. So from A flat, take it back 1 more and it goes to G. So where it was in a major key, we have now lifted the 1 note, the C sharp, to a C to go to minor. And now we have to put a G in here somewhere. How can you do a G? Well, you have an A right here. So you can either just take that finger off and all of a sudden you have, or you can put 2 G's in, take that finger off, because it's being barred here at the 5th fret and you've already got a G note there when you take that finger off. See how that works? Or you can add 1 in. Okay, add your pinky to the B string at the 8th fret and that gives you another G. So that is me showing you A. Okay, there's A, there's G. So now if we play those notes, those are actually the notes in a blues scale. Okay, so it's just following that. Okay, so what we've done now is totally discombobulated your brain. Not in the fact that I showed you that. You're like, well, what is the blues scale? Follow it. Okay, so now we get to add the 1 extra note. So you're doing just simply the A, and you go to the from the 5th fret to the 7th fret. Now you can actually go up 1 fret. Okay, because now you got an A minor. Okay. Okay, now there's our 4. Then that's actually our actual 4 of the scale. 1, 2, flatted 3rd, 4, 5. Now we're going to our flatted 7th. and then finally there. So you have 1, 2, flatted third, 4, 5, flatted 7, and finally again back to 1 or 8. Then you can finish up. Then 1, 2, flatted third. Okay, so that is the whole blues scale. So you are now in a minor with a 7th on it. Okay, how different sounding is that than your major chord? Okay, so you have this now, and we were at. Okay, now our lead stuff is actually going to be on the blues scale. So we're going to be having a major chord. But we're going to be playing minor scales with a flatted 7th, which is a blues scale. And all that comes down to is if you are going to A, 5th fret on your high E string, then your 2, because you got 1, 2, we're getting ready to play that whole scale again. 1, 2, 3. Hey, guess what? It's going to be the same thing on your high E string. They're both E strings. Okay, so we're going to go 5, 7, 8. And then back to 6, I'm sorry, back to 7. So 5, 7, 8. Back to 7. Back to 5. And then we're going to go to the, right here. So the 8th fret of the B string. That is the G, or the flatted 7. And slide it up to, and you're back up to A again. You were at this A. So you have. Okay, so now we've just used everything that people are asking me about. You put a little distortion on there. Okay. Now I'm just doing it on a different string. Do it on the B string at 10, 12, 13. Backward. Now to the G, which is the flatted 7th. And then up 2 frets to A. Okay, so now we get to actually just go on and get a little bit of this lesson. Let's find something in A. Major. Okay, that's an A major. Tell me if it's that from here. Okay, right there in A. You've heard this a million times, and this is not to show you a whole bunch of stuff. This is to explain to you why you can play it there. I'm not teaching you anything new other than why. People are asking, why can I play that? And why do you say I can play minor stuff when it's a major chord? Okay? Okay, it's because. No other reason. Because that's the way it is done and has always been done. So I'm just in there. Okay, you've heard these licks a million times. That is playing this minor and then this flatted 7th thing, which is the blues scale, over top of A major. Okay? So I'm playing the C note. Okay, let's find any other, I don't care what it is, something here that's, this one says it's country, and it's in A. I'm just looking for something in A.
1, 2.
Let's see what it sounds like.
3.
Yeah, that's country. so now let's do this. Let's just go with it. Let's find A down here. Same thing. So you got 2, 4, 5, 4, 2, then your D string at the 5th fret for your flatted 7th, and then back up to 7, 7th fret that is, for your A note. So you got 1, 2, minor note, flatted 3rd, that C note. Now there's that flatted 7th because of this blues scale, because those are the only notes that change. Then you can play all the other notes you normally play. You can still play your major note, so you can play the C sharp. Okay, and you can still play the A flat, and you can still play every other note that you would normally play. So you get a whole thing. You get to play a 1, a 2, a 3, a flatted 3, and then a 3, okay, and then a 4, and then you get to play your 5, 6, then you get to play a 7, a flatted 7, and then a regular 7, a major 7, and then the 8 or 1. You get to play them all. I'm not saying that you have to only play the flatted note going to, you know, your minor note, that C. You can still play the C sharp. This is a matter of the mood you want to create for your solos. Major soloing, so playing, going up to that C sharp, makes the solo sound happy, which is actually, oddly enough, great for faster songs than, for fast songs. And I'll show you where both work. But then the flatted one, you can play either one, of course, because we're in A major, and like I told you, you can play minor because you don't want to be playing minor chords, but you can play minor leads. Okay, I'll show you the difference between the two. The minor gives it more of a bluesy feel. That's why it's called a blues scale. They just took a minor chord and changed one more note, just flatted the 7th, and it became what has always been known as the blues scale. It's just because. Okay, so here we have this country thing, and I'm going to be doing the minor, so the C sharp.
2.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
I'm just making up nothing special, just playing very basic stuff. When I'm doing the open note, that is the flatted 7th, because the major 7 would have been 1 right behind the A, but I went 2 behind it, so that's the flatted 7th. So that note, so that same as going, so I could do it all in one string. But for now, again, I'm going to play that same stupid sounding lick, but they are definitely playing, and it's definitely major, and I'm playing minor over top of it, and I'm using that flatted 7th. Okay, so this proves to you that it can be done, and it's always done. The next half hour, if you care to watch it, will actually be a whole bunch of this stuff and driving it home and showing you how to really utilize this stuff. But like I said, the point is not to utilize it so much as to let you know that yes, it has been done for 100 years, and it is 100% safe to do it, so you can throw a lot of your theory right the hell out the window. Okay, so here we are at the beginning again with the minor.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
I just went there and just turned on a little bit of delay, and now I just went up to D. Why? Because I could add more notes, but I'm showing you that the minor can be there. regular 7th, then back here. Okay, now I'm going to play the major 3rd. So instead of going up to the C, I'm going to go up to C sharp. But you see here I went, yeah, calf scratch fever. Same thing as playing a minor, and the song is in major. You know, it's just because it can. You just don't know why, you know, and nobody's going to tell you why. It's because it can. Now I'm just going to play, like I said, instead of the C, I'm going to play the C sharp. Now it's going to be happier sounding. It's going to be quite gay. Okay, you ready? So no minors in here.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Basic, horrible, weird thing, but playing it with the minor. Whole different ball game. It just sounds different.
1,
and it's
2,
viable.
3.
Okay, so nothing trying to be done, you know, amazing there, because nothing is being done. It's just showing you that, yes, it's like totally, you know, usable. But that's what it is. Now let's do the same thing. We'll throw a little bit of distortion on it for the guys who like that sort of thing. And over top of the country. And you can sustain. Listen to the sustain. You can go ahead. Yes, you do not have to sit there and worry about getting off of that note. You can get off on it because it's so cool. Bring your own towel, clean it up. But yeah, you can hang right there on that note even though everybody else is playing this major chord. You can sit there and go and hang on that minor note as long as you want. You don't have to get away from it. You can just sit there and sit there and sit there and make it sound all kinds of weird, but it works. Why? Because it works. That's it. That's the only explanation you're going to get, because it works. Here you go. So back to hitting the C note. Okay, so the minor while the whole band is hitting major.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Cool note I played. What's the flat of 7th? Just going back to the G instead of the major that, you know, is played. Okay, so we're playing in blues scale. That is it. Okay, so now let's get on to doing some fun stuff, since now that you actually know why. Do you know why? If you don't know it by now, I'm going to slap your ass to the next video, because you can. Okay, let's go to another key. Okay, I don't care. Let's find something. Let's go to E. Edward. Let's see what it sounds like. Oh, this will be great. Okay, nice groove. Let's see. just A major again. I'm sorry, E major. Now, same stuff. What are the rules for finding the minor note? Okay, so now we are in E. So now you get to see that my double dots right here, I don't have any. I got weird little tiny markers here on this goofy looking Fender thing. But let's go up to the 12th fret. Okay, so E. So exactly the same as we were doing with the A. So you start on E, 2, then you flat the third. Because normally the third would be, you know, just do every other fret. 1, 2, 3. Here's your 1, here's your 2, here's your 3. Didn't I tell you that major is just too happy sounding? That's why. You get him? Okay, anyway, screw that. Why? Because I can't play it, no. Again, do the same thing. So 12, 14, 15. And it's minor, and it sounds cool. Okay, what am I doing there? This is where it gets cooler for those of you who do not know this very simple stuff. Like I said, this can be very easy, and it's just here to answer a question more than it is to teach you lessons. Okay, so you have 1, 2, then minor third. Okay, there's your flatted 7, the D, because your E would have normally been here. Now you go down 2 for your blues scale, back 1 for your major scale. So that was going on the back 1, but you flat it twice, so, or you flat it once from that. So, but for here we go back 2 frets instead of just 1 to go to our dominant 7th. If you want to know what it's actually called, it's called a dominant 7th. But I'm going to play it here on the B string at the 15th fret. Okay, so if you ever need to really know, and you do, okay, you're doing 12, 14, 15 to get your minor, right? Now, the same note that your minor note is on is going to be the same exact fret that your flatted 7th is going to be on. So if you're up here to the 15th fret, and there's your minor, guess what? Your flatted 7th is going to be the same fret, but just 1 string up. Then you bend it up 2 frets and you're back to E. So you can go. Okay, so over top of that, in major, and we're going to play minor. Okay, check it out. So you hear again, I'm just hanging on that flatted 7th. It's great. That's blues, man. Even though that's not. That's just rock. Okay, and now sitting there doing doing flatted 3, 2, 1, flatted 3, 2, 1. You've heard that a million times. That's what this is. It's been used in metal forever. Okay, now if we do this, putting your finger over the E and the B string, now we're going to do something that is satanic as all hell and breaks all the rules at the same time. And that's why I taught you that they're both on the same fret, 15th fret. You're going to do hammer on from 12 to 15 on your B string. So you're going from your 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, okay. So that's your 5th. There's your root, 1, and 5 is always going to be 1 string straight up. I couldn't show it here, but unless you have a 7 string, then you could go up and get it, but here. Okay, so you play them together. Okay. You know how to do that already, right? So that's just the 12th and the 15th fret, but you're going to that flatted 7th, or the dominant 7th. Guess what the other one is? Same thing on the E string. Going from the 1 to the flatted 3, or the minor 3rd. Now you do them together. Now that has been done since the 60s. Okay? So you're looking at, 50 some years of people doing this already. And that is doing the blues scale. Okay? Most people used to say the blues scale was, they're playing along and all of a sudden, oh, blew that one. Those are called blue notes. That's when you go, oops, blew that one. Blew that one. Okay, so that's a blues scale. Well, you blew the whole scale. And other ones are blue notes. Just threw a couple blue notes in there, when you try to make it sound like you're not screwing up. No, those are just blue notes. And then somebody thinks that, well, you're a guitar player and you know all this theory, when you're actually just telling them you just blew it, and you don't let them in on the joke. Okay, so a blues scale is actually a screwed up scale, and nobody can explain why it works other than it just does. And I'm here to do the same thing. This has been explained by a million people, and I've explained this a million times, but if I have to do it 1,000,001, I will. Again, why? Because people ask me to, and I am more than happy to. Okay? So again, now we're just going to go. And same notes as you were playing before. Here's your 5, 6 of your regular major scale. We're not just going to be concentrating on just the other ones. Now we're adding in a couple things. We put in a 5. We're putting in a 6. Now the flatted 7th, dominant 7th. Then the 1, 2, flatted 3rd. Okay, so now, hell, you got all kinds of notes in there. Okay, so you get to toss them all in. Okay, so you can go, check this out like. See how you can use any of those notes. Or okay, and you can bend either one of those too. See, they're both totally viable. I'll just show you those. Just there was another bastardization of what we've been doing. Okay, I'm going to show you this and then about one other thing, then I'll just call it a day because it's night. Okay, the other thing, I'll get nice and close in here. Again, this is the 12th fret. Okay, this is 14th fret on the D string. So 14, 12, 14. There I'm just doing the G string on the 12th fret and the B string on the 12th fret. You're like, so, well guess what? This G string in the key of E, playing that G note is the same as doing the E thing. The minor note is the G. So now I'm doing the G here. So I'm playing the B, which is the 5 note in the scale. So I'm going so E, then the flatted 7th, Okay, let's bring it back out now that you know what I'm using so you can see my hand over here. But I'm going E, so the 1, then D, so it's the flatted 7th, so we're in the blues scale again. Then, so I'm doing the 5, which is, or the 5th I should say, which is the 12th fret on the B string, and the G string at the 12th fret, which is our minor 3rd. So now I'm going 1, flatted 7th, 1, now a 5 with a minor 3rd. The regular minor note is right here, okay, on the 13th fret. Watch this. I'm never playing a note on that fret. So there is not a major 3rd, which makes it a major chord, that is ever played. Okay, so most of the time, unless you are playing country or some other kind of stuff, you are hardly ever playing major lead guitar stuff. You're always playing in minor, pentatonic, or blues scale. That is it. Okay, so just kind of waking you up a little bit. Told you if you stuck around for a little bit longer, you might have a revelation or two. What am I doing? Oh my God, I'm doing the same thing I was doing. 12th fret, 14th fret, 15th fret, but now I'm playing the G string and the B string together. What was that? Same thing. Blues scale. So that's your E, then your flatted 7th, now your minor note, back to your root, then your A, so which is your 4, back to your flatted 3, then your 5th to your 4th, now your flatted 3rd, so back to D again, oh I'm sorry, your flatted 7th, so your flatted 7th, back to your 5, and then finally back to E again. So you have 14, 12, 14, then 12 on the G. You see what I'm doing now? Skipping string is going G, D, now G string again, now B, G, B, now up to the 15th fret on the B, then E. That's just another way to play a blues scale. Okay, so that's it. I mean, it's just letting you know that just because the band, I don't care if the whole band's playing nothing but the major 3rd note, you can still play those other ones. Why? Because you can. Okay, so that is basically the lesson. Let's go to one other thing just to see what it does. Just a different key for no other reason than going to another key. Let's go to D. See what it gives us. Kind of a Stevie Ray feel. Okay, so that immediately first thing I heard was I wanted to do that 7th. Okay, so now that we are in D, okay, so we are in D, D, D. Okay, let's say our D is here. Let's go to this D on the G string. Okay, because it is. That's a D note. First thing I want to do is go to that flatted 7th or that dominant 7th. Why? Because it's in the blues scale and it sounds cool. Nobody wants to hang around on the one note all day long. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to go back to the flatted 7th right off the bat. 1, 2, 3. Basic. What was I doing? Just same as before, just going 1, 2, flatted 3rd. Same thing as always. Can you figure out how this works now? Okay. Yes, and that song's in a major key too. So I'm just going right to the minor. Okay? So from the 1 to the 2 to the minor 3rd. Then I bent it back to the minor. Then the flatted 7th, dominant 7th. Okay? Minor, minor. Flatted 7th. So the 2 notes that should not work are working perfectly. Can you imagine them being happy notes? Okay, I'll play major all the way through this beginning just for you to show you how much it would suck if you stuck to the major 3rd, which would be or going up 2 frets or here, or and using the all major scale. Okay, so here's a major song using nothing but the major scale, and how much more it would suck if it had to be done that way, and if you didn't play by breaking the rules. Okay, so how crappy does that sound? Now all of a sudden, I'm going to play that same happy crappy thing exactly. But I'm going to change the 3rd, the major 3rd into a minor 3rd, and the 7th into a dominant 7th. Same thing. Okay, so you can see now that guitar playing was meant to be played like that. Okay, so that was strictly actually for just a few people that could not understand, which is fine. I mean, that's why you ask questions, and that's why I help you. Why in the world would you play minor notes over top of a song that is 100%, definitely 100%, a major chord song? 3 chords, and all 3 chords are major chords. There's no minors to be found, but you're playing nothing but minor lead scales. That's right, because it needs it. Okay, there's no other explanation than because. Okay, for a lot of things in life, that should be your answer. Scott, why the heck did you go do that? Because. And that's probably a way better answer and will get you a lot more respect throughout life than, I don't know. Just because you don't know, don't say that. It makes you sound like a dumbass. Just say, because. It gives you a little more street cred. You're not going to get beat up as much. Because. And that's why people played minor solos over top of major songs. Because they tried it, because it kicked butt over the happy little Mary Had a Little Lamb junk they were playing before. So I hope that little lesson helps out the few people that asked me about it. Whether or not it helped out anybody else out, I don't care. I helped out somebody, so that was my mission for the day. So there you go, and just do things because. Okay? Take care. Bye-bye.